Is that showing up on yours now? It's record.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Guess we'll start. Yeah. Well, welcome along to a zooming version of the Prefontaine podcast. Again, Blair is missing in action. I don't know. It's understandable, I suppose, in the current climate. You know, it's hard to nail people down to do any type of interview, and especially when we're working during the day as well. You know, so we've just come back to have a little chat with Nichola Duffy. You'll all know Nichola from the podcast, and if you don't, she'll just give you a brief bio in a minute, just of, you know, who she is and what she's done, just in case you don't know. But she's doing a 12-hour treadmill, 12 hours on a treadmill to raise funds for Millbury Nursing Home, and we'll put the link down here or up here, whichever media you're on. It could be over here, I'm not sure. So yeah, we're going to mill on through this because we're all on borrowed time. Kids are kind of in other rooms and it might just burst. So we'll just, here's Nichola now. We'll just get her to explain in her own few words who she is, what she's done, and what her background is, and fire ahead.
Thanks, John. Hi, everybody. This is a bit surreal. It's the first time I've used Zoom, so I'm a bit of a novice at it, so you'll have to excuse me. So I'm Nichola Duffy, and I suppose what you would call me is I'm an ultra runner. So I like doing distances that would be above marathon distance. I've been running since 2016, and I've done numerous ultra marathons to date. I've done 50Ks, 50 miles, 100 miles, 24-hour events. And as John has just said, I'm now doing a 12-hour treadmill run now on Monday in aid of Millbury Nursing Home in Navan. I'm doing it to fundraise for them. I'm a frontline worker myself. I'm a nurse, so I'm acutely aware, I suppose, that nursing homes is a sector that has been quite badly hit by COVID-19. So I just wanted to do some fundraising for the nursing home, and I suppose to give hopefully something positive and do something positive in a time that's quite difficult for so many. So between my hours of working as a nurse and doing other things, I've been training away in the background, and as John has said, I'll be running through the night this Monday on a treadmill. So it'll be quite a different challenge. Whilst I've done many ultra marathons outside, I've not really done much on the treadmill, so it'll be a new challenge for me and one that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah,
like treadmill, like I you know, I don't know anyone that likes the treadmill. No. Like, you know, what 10 minutes on a treadmill is 2 hours in real time. But like, yeah, well, that's it. I was gonna ask about, you know, how did you get up to training for this? But you know, it has kind of, you have been training for a different sort of race, which, along with everything else, is being cancelled in Ireland, and for this foreseeable future, it's cancelled. But you know, to go back on the story, I think it was, you initially had this penciled in for the Belfast to Dublin and back race, and then you got a bit of good news, would be fair to say, selected for Ireland, and then COVID happened, and all the races, one by one, fell like dominoes down, and all that training that you had done, you know, was in vain, kind of thing, you know. So
yeah, as you say, like, you know, last December I decided I would well, before December I decided I wanted to get the Irish qualification standard for the 24-hour women's ultra team. So I made up my mind that I was going to enter a 24-hour towards the end of last year and obtain that standard. That was my goal, primary goal going into that race. So I entered Barcelona, went over to Barcelona in December. The qualifying standard for the Irish women's 24-hour team, the minimum standard for potential selection is 200 kilometers in 24 hours. So as I say, I made it my goal and my business to get that standard. I paced the race only to get that standard, and I managed to run 201.8 kilometers. So obviously that did obtain the standard. So as you said there, I was fortunate enough to finish that race relatively strongly. Actually, when I hit the 200-kilometer mark within that 24 hours, probably stupidly, I did sit down and I relaxed. Then I did definitely have more in me on the day and on the night. But I think I was so focused on getting the standard that when I hit it, I just stopped. So yeah, as you say, I hit the standard, and I was fortunate then that I had decided that I was going to enter the Belfast to Dublin back to Belfast race, which is 346 kilometres or 215 miles. And you have 72 hours, I believe, to complete that. So I had entered that race as well. And that was my primary focus for the start of 2020. It was supposed to be in April. So I was working hard away in the background, and as you say, I got some positive news. Myself and Sonia, who also runs with Navan AC, a good club member and a good friend of mine, she also was selected to run for the Irish. Sorry, background noise here. She also was. She also was selected to run for the Irish 100-kilometer Anglo-Celtic Plate team, which was supposed to be travelling to Gloucester. I was supposed to be getting the Irish jersey. I was supposed to be running today, actually. So today's a bit of a funny day for me, because as it was supposed to be the day I was supposed to be representing my country, and I was so happy about it. But look, I had decided when I got the good news that I would pull out of the 346 kilometres and save the race. So essentially, when I got the news in January that I was fortunate to be representing Ireland, I changed tack on how my training would be. I suppose contrary to what people believe, there's a huge fundamental differences in the way you would approach a 24-hour event versus a 100-kilometer event. So I was focusing, I suppose, whilst keeping an eye on the 24-hour events, I had some more in the pipeline for the end of the year. I did change my training ever so slightly, tweak it to suit the 100 kilometers, and I felt I had a goal in mind, I had a target, and I know that had I been running today, I would have had a very good race. I can feel it in myself that I was feeling strong. But look, there's some things that are bigger than running. COVID-19 has really demonstrated that there's a hell of a lot more things that are more important than running. We're fortunate to run, but in times of difficulty, we just got to all kind of club together and do our part and get through these difficult times. Running will be there again. Whilst you say I have been training away, and none of my training is in vain as far as I'm concerned. I've been working very hard in the background. I've been still training, sticking to my plan. My coach, ultra coach Paul Stevenson, has put out for me. So I'm working hard in the background. I'm doing 6 days solid work in the background. The other day I've incorporated strength into my routine now, where I hadn't before. I'm doing double days, I'm doing long miles, I'm doing, I'm definitely was working hard. And I suppose all that training that I've put in, I'm confident that it'll stand me good stead going forward. And I think I have, I believe I have, there's more, if we are fortunate enough to have more events this year, I believe that I have another good event in me before the end of the year.
Okay, yeah. I remember that 24-hour race. We kind of covered it a bit on the work page. Chekhov's, great coffee there.
Yeah.
And like it was
exactly
surreal watching. It was surreal watching someone so far away, but you were there on the screen, and then you had the likes of the lights going out, the music, people just walking in front across the track. I was like, what? I would go bananas on this race.
There was no social distancing, John.
But that was the thing, like, that's maybe another Zoom, another day of how running will evolve going forward, because it's strange times. And when you're all at the start line, you're all jumping on top of each other, trying to get to the start.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's true.
Yeah, that's it. Like my next one was about your training, but with the 2K radius. Oh, think we've lost Nick. Oh, there, back.
There we go.
Was the 2K radius. Yeah. But you're a specialist in training for ultras in like a 500-meter driveway. So 2K radius wouldn't phase you at all. Like
that's generous. That's generous distance, John.
Like that's more than normal.
Yeah.
Well, like it's good to see that you know it's good to hear you talk about cross training with strength work. You know, I think it is very important that it's not just run, and it's not run 100% of the time. You know, there has to be, you know, everyone should know, you know, some days it's, you know, you're only running a nice 50% just to get the legs stretched and all that. Bit of gym work, bit of bike, if you bike, bit of swimming, you know, just mix it all up. But
yeah, it's absolutely, it's vital to mix it up. And it's interesting what you said there about, you know, a lot of my days, my runs are done I train by heart rate. So a lot of my runs are actually done at a very, very, very slow pace, very, very low heart rate. And then I would maybe put 2 sessions in a week where I'm pushing it out. But the majority of my runs are done at a very slow heart rate, and it's geared, I suppose, towards more endurance. As I said to you, there's a slight change in my training regime. For the 100K, I was doing probably a bit more speed work than I had been. But in general, yeah, most of my runs are done at a very, very slow pace, slow and easy pace, and relaxed. And it's just time on the feet, to build that endurance, to build that base that it can carry you through. That if you're running for hours on end, that you won't feel tired. You know, that you'll have the strength. And then, as you say, the strength work complements that. It's not something that I would have ever really subscribed to before. But it's something that I know, and I suppose I've learned to recognize. I've had a couple of injuries in the past few years with the big miles, but you know, you learn that doing strength work, it kind of is key to kind of staying sound, especially when the miles go up, and you have to have, you know, strong core, strong legs to carry you through. So they kind of complement each other and go hand in hand. Oh,
definitely. Yeah. Funnily enough, you touched on heart rate training there. I had a great conversation with Philip Fox. He's the coach up in Navan too. And he's coming back from a pretty big injury. And he was telling me to look at this video, I think it was like 3 hours long, about this guy that says you can train to run a great race at only doing minimal efforts, you know, just training within your thresholds. So, you know, low and slow, but you'll still be able to push it out at the end.
It's interesting. Like I'm a key kind of looker at you know, running groups and things like that. And I know everybody approaches things differently, but I guess it intrigues me to see the differences along the spectrum, and what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. And I think that needs to be said as well, because it's taken me a long time. I would have at one stage gone out before I was with my current coach, and I would have done a lot of my training runs would have been too fast, and I would have left a lot of my race runs that I should have had good races in on the roads in training, and that was an issue. You know, I was running too fast in training. So like I've learned, I suppose, to just slow down and I just stick essentially to what I'm told to do within the designated heart rate, and not worry too much about pace. Now, in a race like situation, I'll be given a pace to stick to, but in training, no, it's heart rate generally, and I stick like glue to that, no matter what. Even if it feels like I'm crawling, like I could be going out and I could feel like I'm going backwards sometimes. But if my heart rate says I need to do that, that's okay, because then, you know, if you're pushing beyond where the heart rate, you're going to get injured potentially, you're going to get sick, you know. So it's really important that you're listening to your body. I think I've learned that anyway, and I've learned that, I suppose, through listening to people, and got good, surrounded by good people. You kind of learn the tricks, I suppose, what works and what doesn't.
Oh yeah, like there's no doubt the reduced, like you know, when you're told to slow the pace down or to the heart rate, but the rest of your body is screaming, hurry the hell up. And you're just like, no, I can't go faster than this. I've got to stop, or else I'm going to end up.
It's interesting actually, because it teaches you discipline, you know, discipline that I severely lack, in terms of, I've learned now, if I'm going out in a race, I would have gone out, hammered out the first few kilometers and died, you know, completely died. Connemara 100 mile is testament to that, you know. Would have went out and did a sub 4 marathon in the first like part of the marathon, you know, forgetting that it was a 100-mile race. But now, I think if you learn to pace yourself, you're finished stronger. You know, as I said to you there, for Barcelona 24-hour, I went in, stuck to the plan, stuck to the pace. I could have ran at that pace for hours more, and I was running within myself, which I suppose excites me for what I can potentially do, because I know that I haven't hit my limit, which is positive, and that's what drives me on the days where it's icy or if it's raining and, you know, it's difficult. You know, what drives me on, what spurs me on, is that I know, I suppose, that I haven't hit my threshold, and I haven't hit my limit, and I have much more, I feel, within me. So it's about kind of tapping into that potential, and the heart rate training really helps in that regard. As I said, it helps me with recovery. Because if I'm hammering out miles, I'm running 6 days a week, if I'm hammering out miles at very tough paces, the recovery is going to be harder on me as well. Injuries will clock up, and sicknesses will creep in. So that's why, for me, I feel that the heart rate training really, really benefits me.
And that's another thing is, you do find that coming up to, let's say, Dublin City Marathon, when everyone's kind of hitting the peak training, you know, just in a general view for the normal people, not ultras, that a lot of people, when it comes to the rest period just before the race, they get sick because their system is way up here.
Yes.
And then there's a stop. And then they just pick up, like, the amount of people that probably had colds on race day. And, you know, you're doing, like, you know, the more exertion you do, the weaker your immune system will become. So you probably, do you take supplements, or because you're doing big miles, do you take extra, like, vitamin D or iron or anything?
What I take magnesium, and I don't take it from, you know, I suppose an immunity perspective. I take it because I'm prone to cramping in races. So even if I drink fluids from early on, I am prone to cramping, and I've found since I started taking magnesium that has stopped. Look, you get the odd exception to the rule if it's a warm day, or if it's very difficult terrain, but by and large, taking that magnesium tablet largely helps me kind of get rid of the cramps that I had been experiencing. I'd also take glucosamine, just, you know, supplements for, you know, joints and things like that. But I don't take anything for the immune system. I'm a great believer in listening to the body, in terms of, as I say, looking at what your heart rate is saying. And look, there's days if I feel like I'm tired, I've learned you don't push things either. Look, there'll be days that I woke up and I'm just feeling a bit meh, you're just not feeling quite right, then I just won't push it. You know, or I'll do, you know, just because the plan is there, it's fantastic to have a plan. You stick to it like glue, and I do try and stick to it like glue, but you also have to be, I suppose, mindful of your own body and listen to your own body. I mean, we're not robots at the end of the day. We're not machines. We have, you know, we have, like, there's always a potential there for us to get sick, and it's very important that we're listening to our bodies and knowing not to push beyond and make ourselves sick, you know. So we have to be in tune with ourselves, and I think ultra running kind of does do that. I'm on my own a lot, in fact all the time. I don't train with anybody, so I run out on my own, and I very much have learned to listen to my body, and to listen, I suppose, to what it's saying. I don't listen to music or anything, so if I'm feeling tired or whatever, I just, you know, I don't necessarily push it out, and I think that's key as well, you know. So
no music, no nothing. You're just having the argument with yourself for 50 kilometers a day.
Yeah, so like I'm a funny one, John, because like I don't tend to listen to music, and I do that purposefully. I enjoy my own company. I know that sounds a bit kind of, it might be perplexing to some people, but I for me, when I go out and run, I like the open roads. I like looking at the birds. I like looking at the terrain around me, and I enjoy that time. I don't tend to listen to music unless I feel I need to refocus. So if I'm having a particularly difficult training run and just I'm finding the pace difficult, or I'm finding just it's a bit of a slog and I need to redirect, I'll have my phone with me. I wouldn't go anywhere without my phone, so I just turn on some music and just listen to that, and that kind of acts as a diversion and gets me through the slog. But no, I don't tend to listen to music, and I certainly wouldn't listen to it when I'm running a race. I'm always within my own thoughts, and I'm used to that. As I say, I train solo, so in a race you're on your own, and I'm very comfortable with that and being on my own. And I think that's key in a lot of it, especially with ultras where potentially you won't see anybody for a very long time. Okay, track ultras are a bit different, but if you're going off on a rural route and you don't see anybody from maybe, I don't know, for like 50 miles or whatever, it is important that you are comfortable with yourself in your own company, and because the mind games will start in an ultra, and you have to be prepared for that. There is going to be times when things get really, really crap in an ultra, and there isn't any ultra that I have ever ran that hasn't happened. I've always had that transient or fleeting moment where I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so hard. What am I doing here? But you have to be expecting that and come up with strategies on how you're going to actually get over that. So it'll be interesting for me here on Monday, because because I'm doing it in my living room. So I'm kind of thinking, how am I going to actually redivert out of my living room? But I'm really excited about Monday, because I suppose it's something that I haven't done before, and I feel a new challenge is really, really every day you should be challenging yourself, thinking outside the box, and this is just one way for me to do that, and I'm really, really excited about the new challenge. Ultra running is obviously physical, but there's a huge mental aspect of it, and this is going to really push the mental side of it. I know I'm physically ready. I know I'm physically able to do this. I have more concerns that the treadmill will give up before I will, but it's the mental aspect that'll be a difficult one to kind of overcome here. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not planning on having any music, having any TV or anything like that. So look, we'll see. I'm just going to run and enjoy it, looking at the screen for 12 hours.
It's only 5 minutes in.
I know. It's so funny you said that. I did a run earlier. It was part of the Navan AC virtual run, and I was on it earlier, and I was looking at the clock going, oh my God, how am I going to run on this now?
So like what's the plan? What's the setup? You're going to start at 9, and then you're going to run straight for 12 hours, or you're going to take step off for a lunch break, change shoes. You're going to change shoes, right? And stuff.
Well, the plan is for this one, as I was kind of, in terms of actually starting time, obviously, look, I need to do this during the night. I chose running during the night for a reason, because, I have to look after my son and make sure he's okay. So once he goes to bed and the bedtime stories are over, I'll start the treadmill and I'll run through the night. I'm not sure exactly what time that will be. I'm hopeful it'll be about 9 o'clock. So I'll have everything kind of set up and ready to go. And 9 is kind of in my head that I'll run from 9 to 9. But, there might be slight variances to that. But the setup is, 4-year-olds and their bedtimes. But the setup is that I bought a treadmill, and it's a new treadmill, so it should be ready to go. And I'm planning, as I say, to run through the night. I'm not planning on any stops. That being said, you have to be prepared that I may need to stop at some stage, and that's okay if I do. Because at the end of the day, I'm not losing sight of that this is actually for charity, So I have a world record, Guinness World Record attempt I've applied to break on the treadmill for later in the year. So this will be gearing kind of as a training run, essentially, for that. So You know, this is for charity. The focus is to get from A to B and to do it. It's going to be the longest run I've done on a treadmill, obviously, to date. So it'll be. I'm planning, as I say, to run kind of like through the night non-stop. Have all my stuff there. I'm going to use Tailwind, obviously, to keep me going. Have the food there, and my wonderful crew member, who's going to stay up with me, I believe, he's playing soldiers here in the background. My husband is going to, Rob, he's going to be my support crew as always. And I whilst I do enjoy my own company, as I said to you earlier, you know, having somebody in your corner like Rob, and you know, it makes the ask all much easier. He knows exactly what I need when I need it. He's that prepped now. He knows what to do more than I do, essentially. So he'll have everything on hand for me, Tailwind, and you know, everything that I need. So in terms of changing shoes, no, I don't tend to change shoes. Even in a 24-hour, I wouldn't even change my socks. I know that science. I just run. In Barcelona, I ran non-stop for 24 hours. I'd stopped once in the 24 hours. I just kept the pace. Can you believe? So I didn't stop at all, apart from when I hit the 200k, and then I stopped, you know.
Oh no, I was just wondering that, you know, because the treadmill, it'll be the same flat surface, and you're running in the same direction, whereas the 24-hour race, you were going one way, then the other, then back, and you know, so you have that kind of variance. I just thought, like, well, for me, I'm waiting to hear from my coach in terms of the pace. The pace isn't actually the pace for Monday actually isn't set yet. The exact pace. He will tell me what to do. So we've had a discussion about this, whether I go constant pace or whether I start off slow, increase, decrease, increase, decrease, or what's the strategy. I don't know what way he's deciding to do things until I talk to him. We've tossed kind of both scenarios up in the air. So I have a ballpark pace that I feel I'm very capable of doing. The issue is, I suppose, if there's an issue, the issue is if you're running in an area on a treadmill, I have found with my heart rate, I've talked about heart rate training, my heart rate always runs a bit higher on a treadmill because I'm indoors and I'm overheating. Okay, so that is a little bit of an issue. I purchased some fans to try and kind of combat that, because you know, overheating obviously isn't very good. So got a delivery of fans, tried to set them up here today, and I think 2 of them broke. So you know, I'll have to try and source some more tomorrow. But yeah, look, I'm not concerned. I know that I can, what I'm capable of, and I'm going to leave the heart rate monitor alone for this and just run to feel, and at the pace that's prescribed so far as I can. Look, if I need to drop the pace, I need to drop the pace, and if I feel I can increase the pace, I'll increase the pace. I know myself what to do. Again, a lot of this is the unknown. I haven't probably done as much on the treadmill as I would like, going into something like this. So a lot of it is unknown, and that excites me, and I just hope the treadmill holds up. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I hope the treadmill doesn't pack in. So we'll see. I have a strategy. I have a plan B as well if that happens. So hopefully it doesn't. Around the block.
Oh God. So yeah, look, I'll be. I'm really looking forward to it immensely, and I just can't. I wish I had said it sooner. I chose Monday because my husband's on annual leave, but you know, I'm itching to get going and raring to get going, and I'll know the paces tomorrow, and we'll see what comes of it.
Good stuff. Yeah, like, you know, this is great preparation for, you know, the world record attempts, but I think just the future of running at the minute, maybe not ultra running, but like we've seen a good few what they call backyard ultras now, where you set the treadmill up in the back, and you're on a live stream. I think we kind of discussed on Facebook someone that got knocked out under previous circumstances because his treadmill didn't start. Apparently, in the right time. But look, it's you know, I think this is the, you know, it's the future of racing anyway. It's treadmill and stick a TV up in front of you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And yeah, that I know we had discussed that previous decision, and it must have been a very hard decision. But you know, like, I definitely agree. These backyard ultras seem to be the future. In terms of streaming, yeah, I think, like, I'm planning to stream all of my run, if not some of us partly on Monday night. I'm hoping to go all of it. I'm just trying to sort out logistics and things like that, but it'll certainly be every hour updates if I don't stream at all. So I think it's very important that, you know, when you're fundraising, especially, that there is the transparency there, obviously, that people can see that you're doing it. Obviously, I would never do something that I would never take people's money if I wasn't going to do something. But, you know, there has to be an element of transparency and open kind of forum for these things. So I'll be certainly streaming all of it. I'm hoping to, but if not, it'll be every hour updates.
Cool. That's pretty class. I just want to go back to, you mentioned Tailwind Nutrition. Is that through trial and error you got to Tailwind, or is that a bit of spun? Like, what's the, you know, Tailwind would be, it's very easy on the stomach, isn't it? Or is it one of those that it's not too hard?
So basically, the longer you run, like when you're running really, really long distances, your body loses its ability to break down kind of foods and gels and things like that as well as it would do ordinarily. Like, say, over a marathon distance, my stomach mightn't have any issues, but if I'm running with gels, but if I run if I'm running further, you know, your body loses that ability to break down kind of food as well. So you need something that's not going to be as harsh on your stomach. So Tailwind, I have found personally, I know it doesn't work for everybody. You know, there is variances, but for me, Tailwind has been a lifesaver. I could run 24 hours with just Tailwind. It's a supplement, a fuel that you just drink. I put some my wadi into it because I'm not a huge fan. There's nothing wrong with the taste of it, but I love my wadi. So I kind of just add a bit of my wadi to it, and yeah, for me it works. I do use like, I could run for 24 hours with just Tailwind, but I do eat things as well, like other foods, if I feel I need to. Like, sometimes, like, if you're just like drinking liquids, it can, you still might feel like your stomach is empty, if you get me. So I would tend to just eat easy kind of foods, and not a lot of kind of solid foods. Just, I would more than I mostly kind of just rely on the Tailwind to get me through. And I have a very generous bag of Tailwind here waiting for me to go, that I was given from Fun Run in Trim. So I'm ready to rock with that, and my favorite berry flavor. So ready to go.
Well, yeah, Spun seemed to be, you know, there's another guy that Graham Mackin, his year was planned, and it was all cancelled down. You know, he had a big year planned. We follow him, and
yeah,
you know, we see all the posts, and that's one of the questions. We got 3 questions that were kind of left. So one was, what type of runners do you wear? Do you have a specific brand?
Yeah, the one brand I started, as I said, when I started in 2016, I started off in this brand, and I haven't changed since. Saucony Triumph, all the time, haven't changed. I don't think I will change. I did get a touch of plantar fasciitis there last year, which I was struggling a little bit, and I was thinking, would I go to Hoka's? Just, I believe they're good for that, but I persevered and went to my physio, and he got me through, and I haven't changed. And I had, you know, if it's not broken, you know, I kind of just stick with it, like. So Saucony Triumph is my choice of shoe. I haven't gone with the Vaporflies yet. I'm not fast enough for the Vaporflies, I don't think.
It's an extra 4%, so
every bit helps.
But like, you know, that Spun Run, they do everything: shoes, nutrition, advice. You know, so they're good lads if you need a bit of
they're great. They're great, yeah.
You know. Another one was, what do you eat before a race? Do you have anything set in stone, I suppose, to
Don't know if
elaborate
I
on
can say
that one?
this. Oh God, I better not say Cocoa Pops, should I? No, I really tend to stay with the same thing. Bowl of cornflakes, no matter what distance, bowl of cornflakes and 2 slices of toast. That's it. Nothing else. The night before is my prep. The night before, the meal the night before is my prep. Always a pizza, and that once I have that, the breakfast the next day it pales in comparison. Once I have my pizza the night before, that's my staple meal for the whatever race I'm facing into.
And just the last question then is pre-race ritual. Do you have one?
Do I have a pre-race ritual? Yes, I do.
Tie the left shoe before the right shoe.
It's actually I wear quilted socks, so I'll always sleep the night before in quilted socks, and that's it. They're a recovery aid, so they enhance your they enhance your performance in terms of they get your legs ready to face the big miles, and then I would always wear them afterwards as well. But that's my only ritual, that I would always kind of wear their socks the night before, just to prep the legs and get them ready for the big miles. That's my only ritual. Although I'm a little bit superstitious, I have to say, in terms of I wouldn't enter a race knowingly if it was on the 13th.
Okay.
Very strange.
Oh yeah.
But I am a little bit superstitious now. There's some exceptions to that, but in general, I'd avoid races on the 13th.
That's, I suppose, understandable. Yeah. You want all the best. You want all the best luck for a race, So look,
I need all the luck. I need all the luck, John. God.
So you'll show. 1 sec. You'll send us on the link for the updates, or will it be on your personal Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page. It's a GoFundMe, just 12-hour treadmill for a local nursing home. And as I say, the funds. What will happen is that I've been into contact with the management in Millbury, and they have been informed that I'm doing it. And what will happen is that when I complete the run, I'll give it a few days, and then I'll hand the money over myself to Millbury, and obviously I'll be posting updates about that as well.
Oh no, but the live feed of the race, are you going to send that on as well?
Oh, I'll send the live feed on as well. I'll send that on. I'm a technophobe, John. This is a big thing for me to be even on Zoom. So yeah, once I sort that, I might need your input to help me set me up with the streaming, but I'll definitely do that. Yeah.
No matter. Well, best of luck. It's going to be. Well, look, you've mental toughness and you've physical toughness. So once you've got them and a good support team, which you have, and a plan, you always need a plan. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, and good. It makes a huge difference from my perspective to have good people that support you. Like yourself and Blair and checkups, and it makes a huge difference, and all the crew members in Navan AC that are behind you. Makes a huge difference to know that you have the support in your corner, and I greatly appreciate it. And I'll be immensely looking forward to the challenge, and I'll keep you all posted.
Well, best of luck anyway, Nichola. And we hope to have a little update after, maybe at the end, with when you're drinking Malibu or whatever it is.
Yes, I'm drinking Malibu tonight, John, as well. And good prep.
No bother. Thanks for being a great sport, and we'll chat again.
Yes, John. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No bother. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.